an order of level of forgiveness. In other words, I have to let you go, but if you break these rules 1 and 2, I will work with you again. Just this wasn't the right for reasons. Rules 3 and 4, I'm probably never working for you again.
Okay.
Rule 1, right? Not ready. I've been on both ends of that spectrum. I've been on as a client and as a freelancer. I have been not ready to do a job. I've also been not ready to take the job. Right? There are people I'm just not ready to hire. That's just because of the rates they command and stuff like that. And the gap's just too big. And that's not a crime. It's just and also sometimes you're not as equipped for a job as you think you are.
Yeah,
That's
that's
also
very fair.
yeah, right.
I disappeared. Hi.
Hi.
Sorry.
But as a general rule of thumb, it's annoying in the moment.
Yeah.
But it's also but that one's the most forgiving, simply because that can also just be circumstances. Sometimes projects change, sometimes projects evolve. Lots of things can happen there that makes that very, very easy to go, okay, you know what? Shit happens. And you move on. I have to let you go. You have to let me go, whatever. But I feel like down the road, there's a chance we'd work together again.
Okay.
Right? That's the one I'm most forgiving on.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the one I'm most
Because I
forgiving.
feel like I could be really wrong, but I feel like with some projects, it'd be really easy to think you're there and you're ready and you're good to go, or you just have a little bit more, but you can do that as you go. And then when you start, you're just like, oh dear God, like back up. Like nope, so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's it happens. You sometimes bite more. As a freelancer, sometimes you bite more than you can chew. Sometimes the customer's not ready either. The client's not ready. Rule 2.
Yeah.
Right. So rule 2. Emotional instability. This one is very delicate. Mental health's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is the question that ultimately comes there. Is that someone's mental health issues? How much of that can you respectfully carry?
0.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Everyone like I feel like mental health, and I could be really wrong, so like psychologists, please speak up. Counselors, please speak up. I feel like everyone is on a mental health spectrum. Not everyone. There's no person that is 100% good. However, as a person, I'm responsible for my shit. So I in no way should be dumping my shit on you or the person I work for or whatever. Obviously, it comes up, and there might be moments of things, but for the most part, like. Yeah.
Let me give you 2 examples. Okay, right? Let me give you 2. You start a project with somebody, and suddenly their significant other dies.
Jesus. That's different.
No. See, that's why I say mental health. This one's a trickier one, right?
But that's not what I mean by mental health. I mean, that turns into something for sure, but I'm talking about someone that has like a pre-existing condition that they're not really dealing with.
No. I see me. I'm covering all of everything, right? Life happens, things happen, things evolve. This is why it's 2 on the forgiveness scale, not 1, is because things happen. And when things are happen, or right, like something like that says it's a job.
Different.
Yeah, no. It is, but I'm just pointing it out like this. Like circumstances will come up, and what I've learned is okay. At that point, like in a situation like that I'm describing, how much of that do you, in a sense, how far does your understanding go? Right?
I would, for me, fair.
Okay. That's where I'm coming from. How far does your understanding? Yeah. Right? Because again, as you so eloquently put it, someone's problems, quote unquote mental health problems, are not yours to deal with. However, I'm not a heartless bastard. Something happens.
No,
but you're right. And that's a tricky balance. That's a very tricky balance. Also, at that point, you might make the decision to walk away. But I'm not, like you said, let's say it's the first one. Like a really terrible incident happened.
Yep.
You might just walk away because, okay, you're not ready for anything right now. But when you mourn this, or
that's not ready. That's not walking away. That's putting it on pause, though.
Yeah. But it might be permanent. It might be a permanent.
But that's fine. But like you're not. you're not closing the door. You're just putting a pause on it. And if it never gets picked up again, it never gets picked up again. But that's a
Yeah.
pause button. That's not
Yeah.
a walking away from someone.
Yeah. Well, I think it's we'll go. Like I said, I'm not saying like I'm shutting the door forever. So those two, I am willing to. Like I said, from a forgivability scale, they're both very high. I've been in the first person shoes. I've never been in the second person shoes, but life does happen to us all. And
Of course.
I totally get that. Number 3, they don't listen to you at all.
Right.
This one is almost a death knell. There are rare instances in that situation where they're right, or like for example, if I communicate with somebody, I did a comic editing project. It's like I communicated some notes to a client. This client was awesome, but his responses to me weren't like he wasn't doing what I was telling me. No, we were communicating a problem. I pointed out a problem. He pointed out his solution, why it was a solution. That's one thing. That's totally works. And you're not the end all be all on certain projects. However, it is a very, very disturbing red flag when you make suggestions to do stuff and they don't do any of it, because that limits what you can possibly do for a job. In the Kickstarter's case, it was an anthology. I needed to know who was involved in the anthology and when the Kickstarter was being launched, and I never got that information, which made it very, very difficult to advertise. How could I do that? Like, right? I can't do my job. So that made that very difficult. And then the final nail in the coffin, and this one's unforgivable to me, is they don't do anything you say. It's not quite the same as not listening to you. Just like, I'm not doing any of that stuff. Okay. Then why am I here? It's like, why am I here?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I say all that like that. So those are the 4 real reasons I fire. Now, there's personality traits as a general rule of thumb, I will not work with, or I will charge an asshole tax for. So.
Yep, fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like those are pretty decent rules. I feel like if someone breaks like rule 3 and 4 especially, like in my brain I'd be like, no hard feelings, but this just isn't a good partnership for work. Like it just
I'll never like, but you'll never work with that person again either. Like,
no, that's what I mean. Like you like it's not a good
Yeah.
when you especially I don't know. I feel like when you're working with someone, no matter how long the project is, it's almost like a marriage. And you
Yes.
just have to have a good partnership, a good jiving. And if you don't, then it's better to walk away and never pick up that
Yep.
that torch again.